Retail pharmacists do much more than simply dispense medications. They are some of the most accessible healthcare professionals, so naturally, they educate their community about medications and other health-related topics as well. Retail pharmacists also review every medication that a patient receives and checks for interactions with every other medication they take in order to ensure that the medication is appropriate for that patient. As such, they serve as a patient's last line of defense before they receive their medicine. Core tasks of being a retail pharmacist include accurately dispensing prescription medications, filling prescription medications, checking immunization records and administering appropriate immunizations, and providing patient counseling on medications. Dispensation of medication is the broadest task that we will discuss today. This is the process from beginning to end of receiving a medication order and getting it ready for the patient to pick up. Starts with interpreting the doctor's orders. This is a process called inputting. Afterwards, we utilize a drug utilization review, shortened to DUR, where computer software checks to make sure there aren't any interactions or duplicate medications or anything that might cause a problem in the patient having the medication. If the DUR does flag the medication, the pharmacist will contact the prescriber and the two will work out the details. Afterwards, we fill the medication, and finally, we will verify that the medication was filled correctly. The process of filling a medication involves signing into the handheld, finding the correct medication, counting it out properly, ensuring that the correct label is attached, and preparing it for one final review. Once the patient's request for immunization has been received, the pharmacist needs to refer to the ACIP chart in order to ensure the immunization is clinically appropriate. Afterwards, it needs to be put into the system, billed to insurance, and the patient must fill out a consent form that will be used to conduct a DUR to make sure that the vaccine isn't going to hurt them. From there, you give the vaccine, and then afterwards you monitor the patient to make sure there are no adverse reactions. In order to provide good patient counseling, a pharmacist needs to answer 3 potential questions that the patient may have, or they may have and not be aware that they need to ask. First, the pharmacist will ask the patient if they understand why they were prescribed the medication. Next, the patient will be asked if their doctor told them how to take their medication. And finally, the patient will be asked if their doctor told them what to expect from taking their medication. Essentially, you're looking to fill in the gaps in the patient's knowledge. If they don't know why they're taking the medication, you educate them as to why. If they don't know how to take it, you tell them take it at bedtime, take it with food, etc. If they don't know what side effects to expect, educate them on those as well. And finally, you ask if there are any other questions and answer them to the best of your ability. This section will primarily apply to Walmart pharmacists, but many of these ergonomic considerations will hold true in other retail pharmacy positions. Retail pharmacists typically work their entire shifts on their feet. They spend long periods of time looking at computer screens to do a large portion of their work. The computers at Walmart are at a standard height with some variability. A moderate amount of their work is done on handheld devices. Medications that are stored on shelves, they might require stooping or bending down to access items on the lower shelves, and they might potentially require step stools to be used to access items on the higher shelves. The workspace between filling pods and the counter space where the pharmacist's computers are located are rather narrow, so there's potential clearance issues that can occur in these spaces. Retail pharmacists are the bottlenecks of their operation, meaning that most processes have to go through them at some point. They are required for the following tasks: the initial checking of new prescriptions after their technicians input them, the final check of all prescription fills, counseling patients on receiving all new medications, and recommending all over-the-counter products. Without the pharmacist, a technician cannot go forward from any of these positions. So often you'll have technicians that are asking for help with one task, and then you'll have another technician that'll ask you for help with another task. You'll have a patient that needs something from you, and they just have to wait in order for you to be able to attend to them before their issues can be resolved. A couple of potential improvements for these conditions could include providing pharmacists with padded flooring to help ease the load of standing on their feet for extended periods of time, and potentially enclosing pharmacies to reduce noise. You could further this effect with acoustic panels to help mitigate the reverberation of sound